Hey you guys, welcome to my channel, Heyoka High Priestess. I am Christy. I'm a seer, healer, Heyoka empath, and we speak about divine justice, healing, spirituality, and the truth. Okay, y'all know. Okay, so tonight, you guys, God wanted me to speak about love, free will, and loving yourself first, okay? So this is not only for myself, it is for all of us. So, if you feel called to listening, I would love to have you here with me. All right, so let's see. I believe that I believe a part of my role is to speak what God places on my heart for this collective, for the world, He wants that for all of us. He does. So this message is going to center around love, but maybe not in the way people expect. So let's tap in. All right, so many of you who are listening possibly are asking about a specific person in your life, right? So you feel a deep connection with someone, a soul connection even, a true love connection, and yet something has happened. There may be distance, separation, confusion, or delays. So you may be asking yourself if this connection is real, if this is real love, and why are we not together? We've all been there, right? So the truth is something very simple but very important. Okay, so God does not remove people from our lives against their will. Every soul has free will, as we know. Even when two people are meant for each other, even when it is divinely orchestrated, right? God still allows each person to choose their own timing, their own path, and their own lessons, because that is free will. He doesn't want to control us. He doesn't want to puppeteer us, right? But he will, along the way, direct you either out of that, what became a lesson, out of what maybe your ego chose, or what you just thought was right for your path at that time. And then sometimes those paths that we take become lessons, right? If we're not always listening to our higher self, but you're always on the right path. So what's meant for you will be for you in that moment, in that time. Yeah. Yada, yada, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But, okay. I'm a little goofy. And sometimes a person encounters a love that is deeper than anything they have ever known or felt, which can be scary, right? It can be a full heart chakra awakening for some people, right? So then we sometimes can act out of emotions that we didn't even know that we could feel. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these moments are led by God, because he is wanting that moment to occur, because that can be a divinely orchestrated relationship that he wants to either, grow, and it either can grow then and mature, or sometimes it can end up getting separated and you have to grow separately, so, and then maybe it can be brought back. But free will is free will. And when these types of, moments happen, heart chakra awakenings, and say, we are acting not our normal self because we're nervous, we're scared, we've never felt such a deep connection before. We might not even feel like it is a connection, right? Because we feel so out of whack. Our nervous system can feel so confused or just too sensitive to it, right? Which can make us act out, So instead of running towards it, sometimes we can run away from it, right? And it's fair. That's really fair. So not because the love is wrong, but because it awakens something inside of them that they were not yet ready to face. And that's absolutely fair as well. So your love may feel intense to them, not in a harmful way, but in a way that it exposes deeper truths within themselves, okay? And within either partner, right? In different ways, depending even where you're at in your awakening process, right? So some people also struggle with a deeper question. Am I worthy of this kind of love? And that is totally, totally true, and totally fair. And sometimes another truth is revealed through time. So what a person truly values in life is not shown by what they say. It is shown by what they consistently give their time, their energy, and attention and resources to, right? Actions do speak louder than words most times. Okay, so where someone spends their energy, where they spend their time, where they invest their focus, all very important. So that can reveal what they actually appreciate, right? By their actions and where they put those actions, what they put those actions into. So because whatever we truly appreciate in life begins to grow. It appreciates, okay? It grows over time. It accumulates. And hopefully that is going in a direction of obviously appreciation of positivity, of growth, of prosperity, all things, of love, you know? So it multiplies, it develops, it becomes stronger. All right. So, but the opposite is also true. What we take for granted slowly fades away. So if someone has been given the opportunity to experience a deep and meaningful love that ultimately brings such success and fulfillment and heartfelt fulfillment, right? Because you're truly in love and you get to dive deep with that person. You get to harness such a relationship that is like bonded in a healthy bond together, with stability, with growth, with really loyalty, to like really know that you guys have each other's back. And that is that power of connection, right? And I think in a relationship, like a loving, like in your partnership, you guys should be that close to where you two know every little thing about each other, right? No one else is coming in from the outside going to tell you about your relationship, or they've heard this, heard that about your person without you freaking knowing it, and or being private about, going back, making sure you and your partner know those things first, and you are conducting that conversation with them firsthand, right? So that is the essence of like a true bond, a true strong relationship, right? That no one can break that. That's untouchable. At least from my standpoint, first, that's how I feel. And that is definitely what I would want. You have to have that safety. That has to feel safe. And if you two are the ones living in that home together, gonna have that family together, you two better know each other and want to grow together as individuals, and then together. That is building that union, that sacred union together, for the legacy, for your family, what have you. So it starts by harnessing and knowing that that's the true relationship that you want to be in. And yes, it takes time and effort and commitment to being loyal and just honest and taking accountability, all things. And we can't take that union for granted. We can't, because then you're practically taking yourself for granted, right? You're not showing up. You're not being, or you're just not being, say it's not right for you, not right for you at that time, or just not right for you. And you have to also be honest about that then, not faking it, or or future faking it by, acting like you're going to be this committed, union with that person, right? We can't fake ourselves out, you guys. It doesn't pan out for anyone. Trust, it doesn't. Maybe in that moment, but it never. It just that's karma. That's when karma will come into your life and hit you to teach you a lesson. Because we don't get to walk around and break people's hearts. You end up breaking your own. So, if someone has been given the opportunity to experience a deep and meaningful love, but chooses instead to invest their energy somewhere else, which they have free will, that choice also has consequences. This is what I always say, be careful with, running from things, because sometimes, we are meant to work at things, right, as well. And I'm telling you, if it is a divine like union that God wants, yeah, you're gonna have to, you either will then go learn your karmas and, you know, step up to the plate in your own life, right, in ways, and learn those lessons, and then maybe have that opportunity, because if God wants what he wants, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. But we do have to learn our lessons in all of these things, right, to become the best version of ourselves. And we get to do that every day. And every day we do have that opportunity to wake up and better ourselves in a way, right? Every day, every second. And it doesn't have to, no one has to be perfect, trust, you know, but that is also free will. That we do get to choose to be kinder, to be softer, to grow, to learn something new, etc., etc. All right, so God gives people opportunities, absolutely, but he does not override free will, right? So even when someone has been shown a glimpse of what their life could become, and these can come in dreams, you guys, downloads that you'll get, even like shown on, if you like, sometimes like movies that, like when I was little, I swear stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes sense as to why that even like occurred now in my life. But dreams, especially, your dreams are your future. That's why I always say, like, with your dreams, like, definitely, if you remember your dreams, write those down. And they have like dream books of, like, you know, to depict like what it means and whatnot. It's really interesting. That's a whole nother like level of I guess it's a part of like spirituality and all of and whatnot. But it's just different avenues to learn, right? But God will show you through people, through signs, synchronicities, movies, through dreams, all these things. Like we're always getting shown our future like life path, right? To help us, guide us to get on there, because it's going to be for our highest and greatest timeline, success, prosperity, everything, our happiness, our joy, our joys. All right. Okay. So yeah. So even when someone has been shown a glimpse of what their life could become, even when someone has felt the potential of a beautiful future, that vision is not a guarantee. I mean, it's not guaranteed, because we do have to take action. We have to take the actions in our life. We can't just be one day sitting here and then thinking if we just sat here, the next day we'd be like in bliss with our forever person. Like, no, you have to take action, just like we have to take action in our life every day. We have to wake up, shower, all the things, you know, go to work, what have you. Show ourselves love and kindness. All right, so this is what God would be showing you, is an invitation. It's an invite to your future life. All right, so you can take the next steps appropriately, right? And it doesn't happen overnight, but we can take forward movement, and it's like a confirmation. It's a happy confirmation. It's supposed to encourage you to work towards that. All right, and just know, a vision from God is not meant to make someone passive in their own life, though. He's not going to, you know, like I said, it's not just you're not gonna wake up and it's gonna be all just there for you, right? We can't be passive in our own lives. So it is meant to encourage action. Like I said, it is meant to inspire someone to rise into the person they were meant to become, that you have always known deep down that you want in your life, you know, the success, maybe the marriage, to travel, what have you, the own the animal shelter, you know, like it's like, you know, have a sanctuary for animals, or like, you know, build what he shows you, so it inspires you to build what you want and what you are capable to have, and he will provide for, you know, you to make your way there. Because the life we dream about does not appear through entitlement. No, it does not. It appears through alignment, growth, and the choices we make every day, right? I mean, us even just thinking, talking, taking action, just down to like walking your dog every day. That's a part of manifestation. That's a part of movement. That's moving with the ebb and flow of the universe. It's showing that you take action in your own life, even if it's the simplest thing, like showering, which we all should shower. So, all right. So, and sometimes a person does not understand the magnitude of what they were given until they lose it, you know? And that, you guys, that is such an ongoing, repetitive, biggest lesson kind of thing. You would think that we talk about it, that, you know, it's like, oh, you didn't know what you had until you lost it, like with the relationships and whatnot. And I get it. Like some people aren't ready, but at the same time, were you trying to be your best self in that moment in time with that person or that career, that situation? Like, were you really putting your best foot forward, or were we sitting in entitlement and judgment and not even giving it a chance? Like, you know, I will tell you, it's just like when I always say, be kind to all people, because you never know when you might have an angel in disguise in your life and you dismiss them, or you know, you're rude, or you know, like just step over them. They could be a homeless person, and they could have that could be a whole angel about to tell you something about that's going to happen in your life, and you're going to be like, they're crazy. Well, maybe you're a little crazy, because then you're going to lose out on your life. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding. That could be it too. You know, like God works through everyone, anything, any moment in time, any situation, right? That's why it's so imperative for us to, first off, just be at a base level of like kindness and caring, and to be attentive to our world and what goes on it, and not to sit in an entitled space, because that moment that you want to look down upon someone, or, you know, dismiss, that will be your own downfall as well, because we are here to simply have, like, at least have manners and be respectful to one another. That is just like the base, you guys. And like I said, you reflect exactly who you are to the outside world. So be it kind or be it a jackass. It just shows who your character is at the end of the day. Some people care and some won't. It's simply human decency, y'all. That is like the base. Absolutely. It should be. All right. So sometimes a person does not understand the magnitude of what they were given until they lose it. Okay. So we all should be a little bit more aware of that, right? And then we're the ones out, like, sad and lonely, whatever, you know, or people that end up doing that to themselves. But we've all been there. I'm sure we've all been there at one time or another, because that's a part of a lesson as well. It's what you're going to do after that. Are you going to grow from that? Are you going to learn that lesson? Or are you going to, like, double down or, like, triple out and, like, be worse off, you know, towards others or what have you? But let's hopefully know that we're going to go up from that moment, right? And take care, and then caretake for the next thing that we really care about or we feel connected to, or at least learn from the lesson. It will make you a better person. It humbles you. Sometimes clarity only arrives after a door has closed. That's right. So that's like not knowing what we had until we lost it, and then sometimes, you know, if we don't want to take that lesson and learn and maybe go back and, like, apologize, or, like, find out what that person was in our life for, or what that, you know, that any types of relationships, or that the career or whatever, you were supposed to build on top of that more so, or, like, get into the management position, what have you. So a door can be closed, you know, and that is one of the most difficult spiritual lessons a soul can experience. All right. So, and that's another thing. Believe in spirituality or not, you guys, like, remember that is just a word, just like all the words we use. They can be important words to us, or we can chew them off. But when it comes to spirituality, we are a soul having a human experience. So you will go through these soul lessons regardless, right? And it's just easier to be aware of them. And so you're not tripping on your own shoelaces, you know, untied shoelaces. But so, yes. So that is one of the most difficult spiritual lessons a soul can experience, but it is still part of the journey of free will, right? So if you are experiencing separation or delay with someone you love deeply, and you will feel that, you will know that in your soul, it will not go away, okay? Understand this clearly. It is not necessarily because the connection was false. It's not that, okay? It is often because the other person is still walking through their own process, which is, I think, very comforting to know. They are still learning their own lessons, and that's true. We do have to learn all our lessons, and sometimes the person that God like showed you a glimpse of, or you had a moment with, or what have you, and then it didn't work out, and you're like, you're going to be so upset about it. But no, it's also because it was just a glimpse in time that you got to like have with that person. So you got to feel all those strong feelings. So then when that maybe you separate and they do have to go learn their lessons or go down a karmic path for a little bit, they then see the difference. It's like, that's just an example. But say like maybe you've already gone through most of your karmas and you've been clearing them out, right? So that's why even though that moment in time that you guys came together, it could feel like a different dynamic, right? That someone was acting like they knew more or being more powerful in the connection, and it's not that. It wasn't that, so I'm saying, and so it's nice to know, I hope this gives confirmation to the one on the other side of it that maybe did do more of their lessons and they were ready for that relationship, and then had to get separated because that other person wasn't ready in that sense. And it's not like their fault. I mean, hopefully they weren't harmful, but like, I'm just saying I hope this is a confirmation to like, for your soul and you to know, like, they had to go through their process as well. But yes, there is still free will and all of that. But that's why you just hold that hope and love, and you stay high vibrational because that connection is there. So when it's a strong connection, like even twin flame or a soul tie, you guys are working off of like especially a soul tie. You're working off of like the same chakra system. Like, so if you're moving forward, and it's a lot for the woman, which is, I find a little bit like, what? Like the woman sometimes, like she's the one that kind of like leads in the spiritual. It depends though, I guess. If the woman is the one that's more in that spiritual led advancement already, like, so they kind of have already taken that lead, and the man is more grounding within the earthly plane, right? Because it's the dual, but it's like the yin and yang, and so you're trying to like balance. But in general, that what I was told, that it's the woman that kind of like, since she's like the portal, the woman is like the portal. So like, but staying high vibrational, and the more that you move forward and take action in your life, it does trigger the other person to do so. They will feel like drawn to do so. So that's why they say it's so important to do not be clinging to the other person, because even if you know that they are for sure your soul tie or your twin flame or whatnot, let's not get hung up on that. But you'll feel in your soul, and it'll even if you did all the cord cuttings and you can't get rid of, like, trust me, you'll know, because you'll still feel them. But you staying in that's why we don't stay so attached to them, because they can't move forward. Then you have to detach for things to move. And so like, if you are focusing on yourself, that like ignites them to like focus as well on them, on themselves. And they see you in that beautiful light. And that obviously is, if it is a true soul connection. And only, honestly, you guys, at the end of the day, God is the one that will know that for sure. Because sometimes when you're separated, you don't know where they're at in their time, if they are even putting towards their life, you don't know. That's why you're separated, for the hope that you both are working towards it. But really, it's for each individual to be like to hold space for their heart. Because if you're waiting on that person and they're not doing their work, and it's been like years, and then you're all, you're just waiting then. And what if they chose free will and you didn't know that, then you're missing out on opportunities of someone new coming in your life. You're going to miss that because you're so stuck on the thoughts of them. But because what God sees is not what we can always see. So if God is saying, focus on you, just focus on you, and he will show you signs. He will show you, like, but that is just how energy works. Like, we have to, the more we advance ourselves, especially with like that, if it is a soul tie connection or something like that, and you guys, like, not all your connections obviously are going to be that. So, you know, because often the feminine leads the healing in a connection. So as she grows, heals, and raises her vibration, it can naturally trigger growth and awakening in the masculine. So whoever steps into growth first, especially obviously growth within, you know, your spiritual path, which we are all on, but we are definitely, you know, we are going through transformations and awakenings that we are living and talking about more and more. So we are actually being able to experience it in a way that it becomes ours, right? Since we are in the era of the Aquarius. So whoever steps into the growth first becomes the catalyst then for the others' awakening, igniting their transformational path forward, because transformation in one partner tends to awaken transformation in the other. Yes. I was like, I didn't know if I was like saying it where it could be understood. All right. So I hope that made sense. But so I know you guys, so if you're experiencing a separation or delay with someone you love deeply, understand, right? It is sometimes the other person that is just going through their karmas and going through their transfer process, right? So it can take time. And you continue to thrive. You continue to thrive, right? We're all here to mature and build upon our own life. That's why it's so important. We can't be waiting around for someone else to build it for us, right? So, but yeah, just know they are still learning their own lessons. They are still discovering what they truly value. And sometimes one of the most important lessons a person must learn is the company you keep matters. It does. The environments you choose matter. The habits you allow in your life matter, right? You guys, it's just like they say, like, you become who your friends are, right? You can take on some of like their traits, like down to even if I just met my friend's good friend, and he's from Britain, and just had the best British accent. I was like, do we have accents? And he's like, American ones. I was like, yes, so annoying ones. It was just funny. But I was like, but I'm saying, like, even that, like, when I've been around, you know, people that have like accents or whatnot, if you're around them enough, you'll like, you kind of like take on that. Sometimes you'll like start talking like them. That's been my experience. And I just really enjoy like certain accents I enjoy, but I just found it funny. And he was a Scorpio, and I was like, me too. It was awesome. But, okay. So anywho, Zen has it. So, I hope that makes sense though, you know, but we are creatures of habit. That's what I was trying to get to. All right. Okay. So yes, we have to be aware of the environment and the people and habits that we either choose to keep or release, right? If they're not so great for us. We don't want to become them. Okay, so because the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you entertain, and the spaces you repeatedly place yourself in will shape the direction of your life. And that is true, right? That's where you are vibrating then. That's all energy, right? And there's low vibration, there's high vibration, right? And we as souls, as humans, we can dip down into other people's lower vibrational spaces, habits, characteristics, or we can raise our frequency, and that's the whole timeline shifting and all of that. So just be aware of what and where and who that you want to be around, because, you know, it's that energy circulates within you as well. All right. So it is important to know when to shift and to know what you want, you know, even if takes a little bit more work to get there, but at least you know that it's yours and you're gonna get there. All right. Okay. So some environments elevate your soul. They do. People that you even can come and encounter with. Sometimes God will even place someone in your life to, like I said, even the heart chakra activation. I know I've done that, for someone, and maybe more than the people that I even knew of that, right? Like, God will put other people, depending on what their gifts are, or just to elevate you, or at least to show you where He would love for you to, what caliber even He would like you to be around, what you are, where you're meant to even be in your life, and that's in that sense, but not in an entitled way, you guys. This is all for soul elevation, right? To evolve. Right? Because we can get stuck and we can think this is all that I have. This is all that I'm meant to be. And it's like, no, there's a whole world out there, right? Okay, so some environments and others will elevate your soul, and you'll learn new things, all the things, blah, 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 blah. And others can slowly pull it away from who you are meant to become. Will, pull you down and keep you stuck. Kind of thing. Okay, and until someone becomes aware of this is why this is important, they may continue walking a path that moves them further from the life they once envisioned, okay? So we always got to be checking in with ourselves, because we can't allow our full environment and all the other people around us to keep us kept somewhere when we know, in our hearts really, that we want elsewhere, or we want, other things and places and happiness, which is your decision alone, right? But you got to take action. So God has given you a very specific assignment. Your assignment is not to wait. Your assignment is to learn how to love yourself fully and enjoy your life completely. And in doing so, you are already then speeding up your process, for more abundance and more opportunities come into your life, even new people, so even possibly a new person, because God will never let you, even if that soul tie or that twin flame or what have you. And that's why it's important not to get caught up on the labels, because with free will, He knows that people can, they have it and they can go a different direction, and He's not going to leave you stuck, you would never do that. So you would get a replacement, someone maybe even at your level where you're at on your timeline, what have you. Okay, obviously that's why it's good to heal, because that is how we align with higher vibrational beings that are at your frequency and where you are at in your life. And also know God is God, and he can change anything. He can change our minds. Like, seriously, like, He can speed us up, He can slow us down, depending, right? Because God He's the planner, like the ultimate planner. He's the ultimate yes or no on all life. So at the same time, you also, sometimes you might be placed back into each other's lives to continue to heal, to continue to grow together, depending on circumstances that may have happened outside of your own, what you could control or could not. And then because if God wants two people to be together, He'll make it happen, but it might just take longer, right? So never lose hope, you guys. Just never lose hope. Just don't get so stuck, but you always keep moving yourself forward, right? Because nothing is a guarantee, but what you can guarantee and put all your weight on is yourself. So be your best self, and then even like your choices in life, what you thought you wanted, they might change, like you're elevating, you're maybe in different career, different hobbies, you meet new people. I'm just saying, that's why there's the free will, so you do get to choose. You're not bound to anyone or anything. But so right now, God is asking you to focus on discovering how to truly enjoy being alive, and go out. Let's get out there and have fun. We need to tap into our childlike ways of, I don't know, what did we do as children? like bike ride, go swimming, I don't know, art. Yes, enjoy your life. But yeah, have fun. Go play, go play. Whatever that is for you. All right, whatever ignites you, keeps your frequency high vibing. And so yeah, God is asking for us to focus on discovering how to truly enjoy and hold space, hold love for yourself, hold that space. It's very important. All right. And okay, what does it mean for you to experience joy in your own life? Right. So let's ask those questions. What would make you say, I genuinely enjoy my life right now? Like genuinely be able to say, like, even being single, like, I'm happy. Like, I am fulfilled. Like, I am so proud of myself. And this is me saying genuinely, like, myself, like how hard I've worked. And I can say, yes, I'm okay standing at single alone right now because I have done the work. And so I am at peace. I am happy, and I will only grow more and grow further, expand my life and my wants, my needs, like whatever makes me happy. And that is just so important. We should all really be there. To be really happy within yourself is huge. And trust, it's not like always perfect, but I can say I'm proud of myself, and that I'm definitely like content and confident. And I do know what I deserve. And that is why God has us go through this, all these lessons and all of that, because you are to build within yourself to know who you are, so you get to choose. And yet again, that is free will. You do get to choose. You get to make your decisions. And that's a beautiful place to be when you know what you do deserve, right? It is knowing your worth. And God will make sure that each and every one of us, male, female, knows our worth. And I wish that and send so much love and healing out to all, for you guys to all want that for yourself as well. That is God. That is what God wants for all of us. Absolutely. And trust me, when you feel that and you know that and you've done the work and you love yourself, you just love yourself, and you are so freaking proud of yourself. And trust me, at that point, sometimes you're like, I am chilling. Like, I enjoy my alone time. It's necessary to recharge, especially for us empaths, like heavily, and getting to do what we would like to do when we want to do it, kind of thing. So, and like here, maybe it is to travel. Maybe it is creating something. Maybe it's being in nature. Maybe it's music, art, writing, movement, laughter. And all those things should be in our life, especially like the music, art, writing, movement, just moving your body, dancing and laughing, enjoying for you, enjoying life for you first, So sometimes it is even something simple, a quiet moment, a meal, a dessert, anything. A small experience that reminds you how beautiful life actually is, right? It's really the little things, you guys. It does. I mean, definitely for me, I'm quite practical, but like, yeah. So God designed life to be experienced with enjoyment. He did so. Yes. Somewhere along the way, humanity forgot this, unfortunately. But we are striving to get back there. So we started believing life was only about productivity, survival, money, achievement, or proving ourselves, which is a big one. It's like that's exhausting to have to prove yourself, right? We should be proving ourselves to ourselves, But enjoyment is not a luxury. It is part of why we are here. And if we live our entire lives without enjoying them, right? Make all this money and don't even go and travel or do something, go on vacation and actually enjoy that vacation instead of working while you're there, right? Then we are missing the foundation of life itself. And that's so true. That is so true. So God is asking you to reverse the order of your priorities. Instead of saying, I will enjoy life later, once everything else is handled, right? I've definitely said that. He is asking you to say, I will learn to enjoy my life now, in the present moment. And from that place, everything else will grow. And that is totally a manifestation. That is telling the universe, I'm already doing it. I am in it. Right? And sometimes we don't always feel it, but that's why we say it to ourselves. We say it out loud. We step into it by saying it, by writing it down. I'm telling you, it shifts it shifts your environment. It shifts your life. It shifts the feeling inside of you. You feel better. I'm telling you, I do it. So when you learn to enjoy your life, something powerful happens. Your energy changes. Your motivation changes. Your perspective changes. The joy you cultivate within yourself becomes the fuel that allows you to serve the world, help others, build things, create things, and pursue your purpose here on earth. But it must begin with you, right? You cannot rely on another person to bring you happiness, fulfillment, or entertainment, not even the person God intends for you. And that is true. You want to be two whole beings separately to then come into that sacred union together and be even more whole and powerful, and to continue to grow together and try new things and experience life together, right? So your happiness must exist within you first. Totally fair and feels amazing. And while you are learning this lesson, God is also asking you to do something else. Okay? Identify what blocks your ability to enjoy your life. All right? Is it a situation? Is it a job? A mindset? A relationship dynamic? A habit? A routine that's, not serving you any longer. Wherever something consistently pulls you away from peace, joy, and self-love, God is asking you to place boundaries around it. Okay? That is for you and for your higher path, for your confidence, for your worth. Place boundaries around it. All right? I definitely take on that advice as well. All right. So even if that boundary has to include someone you care deeply about, sometimes that's family members, you guys. So yeah. So because your ability to experience life fully is sacred and it's yours to experience. God created you with the right to enjoy your existence. Know that, please, please, please. And when you truly begin loving your life, something remarkable happens. You begin to experience heaven on earth inside your heart. All right? You realize that love does not begin with another person, nor is it outside of us. All right? So it begins with the way you exist in your own life. Take lead in your own life, right? And from that place, every relationship becomes healthier, clearer, and more aligned. And they do, you guys. I've seen it in my own life. Like I definitely have seen it, and I've seen the growth, like amongst even my friends. It's really cool. It's just healthy, and we're all happier, So and we have other things to talk about, like it's more ideas, more creative, like thought processes, right? To actually act on those things in our life. And it's great. So if you take one thing from this message tonight, let it be this. Serve your soul first. Okay? Learn how to love your life. Learn how to enjoy your existence. Learn how to experience heaven within yourself. All right? And when you do this, the love meant for you will find you at the right time and in the right way. That is true. Because the frequency of true love always meets the frequency of a soul that has learned to love itself. And remember this, stop waiting for someone else to choose the life you were already called to live. Choose it yourself. Don't let others choose it for you. Yeah. And if anything, they need to be choosing their life path and figuring their life out. You know what I mean? So choose the life God placed inside your heart. You know best, okay? Because the moment you begin living in that truth that is yours and yours alone, heaven does not wait for you someday. Heaven begins within you. All right? I know that was long, sorry, and I like chattered. Per usual, you guys know. I hope everyone's doing really well, and I love you guys. All right. I'll put my offerings, and yeah, have a great night. Have a really great night. Go have a treat. Every night have a treat of something, okay? Okay, love you guys. Bye.